The morning began like so many others, quietly and without warning, the kind of ordinary calm that later feels cruel in hindsight. Anna stood in the narrow kitchen, sunlight slipping through the curtains and settling on the worn tiles, listening to the soft hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of her daughter moving in her room. Lily's footsteps were slow and uneven, familiar sounds Anna had learned to recognize as comfort rather than concern. Lily was 22 but lived with a cognitive disability that made the world overwhelming and confusing, so Anna structured every day around routines that kept her safe and calm. Breakfast at the same time, the same cereal, the same blue bowl. That morning, though, Lily didn't come to the table. When Anna went to check on her, she found her sitting on the bed, pale and sweating, one hand pressed awkwardly to her stomach. Lily smiled when she saw her mother, that innocent smile that always twisted Anna's heart, and said she felt funny inside. Anna brushed it off at first, blaming a stomach bug or anxiety. But as she helped Lily stand, her daughter swayed and nearly collapsed into her arms. Panic rose fast and sharp. The drive to the hospital felt endless, every red light unbearable, Lily humming softly in the passenger seat as if nothing were wrong. Anna tried to stay calm, talking gently, telling herself she was overreacting. She had done that before. She would do it again. At the hospital, nurses asked questions Anna had answered 100 times before about medications, history, behavior changes. Anna mentioned the weight gain she couldn't explain, the nausea Lily had been having in the mornings, the strange fatigue. She said it all quickly, apologetically, as if wasting their time. Then came the tests. Blood drawn. A long wait. A quiet ultrasound room where Anna held Lily's hand while the technician's face grew careful and unreadable. When the doctor finally spoke, his voice was calm but heavy, as though he were choosing each word from a dangerous shelf. He said Lily was pregnant. He said it gently, like it might shatter if spoken too loudly. Anna laughed once, a short, broken sound that didn't belong to her. She shook her head, insisting there had to be a mistake. Lily didn't understand the word, just watched her mother's face, sensing fear and confusion without knowing why. The doctor explained again, showing dates, measurements, medical certainty. 12 weeks. Anna's vision blurred. Her first thought wasn't disbelief, but terror. Lily was never alone. Lily was never unsupervised. Lily trusted everyone in her small world completely. Someone had violated that trust, and Anna's role as protector suddenly felt like a lie she had been telling herself for years. She wrapped her arms around Lily as if she could undo time, whispering reassurances she barely believed. On the drive home, Lily fell asleep, clutching her stuffed rabbit, unaware that her life had been irrevocably altered. Anna's mind raced through memories she had never questioned before. Her husband Mark offering to help bathe Lily when Anna worked late. Mark insisting on handling Lily's physical therapy exercises, saying it was good bonding. Mark dismissing Anna's worries as overprotectiveness. Each memory replayed now with a sickening clarity, like pieces of a puzzle snapping into place. By the time they reached the house, Anna's hands were shaking. Mark met them at the door, concern etched on his face as Anna told him the news in a flat, hollow voice. He looked shocked, even angry, demanding answers, swearing he would find out who did this. Anna watched him closely, searching his eyes for something she couldn't yet name. That night, after Lily was asleep, Anna lay in bed beside her husband, staring at the ceiling while his breathing evened out. The house felt different, unsafe in a way she had never felt before. Her instincts screamed that the truth was closer than she wanted to admit, that the danger had not come from outside their walls. As Mark slept peacefully beside her, Anna made a silent promise to her daughter, one born of fear and love and a rising, terrible certainty that whatever she was about to uncover would change everything forever. Morning arrived without relief, the gray light pressing against the windows as if the house itself were holding its breath. Anna moved through the hours mechanically, making toast Lily barely touched, answering questions she couldn't fully hear. Lily kept asking if they were going back to the doctor, if she had done something wrong, if her stomach hurting meant she was bad. Each question felt like a knife, and Anna answered softly, repeating that Lily was safe, that she wasn't in trouble, that her body was just sick and needed help. Mark hovered in the doorway more than usual, offering coffee, offering to take Lily to watch television so Anna could rest. His voice was gentle, practiced. Anna nodded, smiled when expected, and felt a cold, focused calm settle over her. Fear had sharpened her senses. She noticed how Mark avoided her eyes when Lily mentioned the hospital, how his hands trembled just slightly when he picked up his keys. When he left for work, kissing Anna's cheek and telling her not to worry, the sound of the door closing echoed like a verdict. Anna waited until his car disappeared down the street. Only then did she let herself stand still in the hallway, heart pounding, staring at the closed door of his home office. She had never gone inside alone. It felt like a violation, like betrayal, but something deeper pushed her forward, an instinct older than thought. She told Lily she needed to make a phone call and settled her at the kitchen table with crayons and paper. Lily began to draw flowers, humming to herself, trusting as always. Anna's chest tightened. She crossed the hall and opened the office door. The room smelled faintly of coffee and cologne. Everything was neat, controlled. The computer sat dark on the desk, a small, ordinary object that suddenly seemed heavy with meaning. Anna hesitated, fingers hovering over the power button. She told herself she was wrong, that this was madness born of shock. Then she pressed it. The machine whirred to life, each second stretching painfully long. When the desktop appeared, Anna exhaled shakily. She tried email first, scanning quickly, finding nothing overt. Her relief was brief and hollow. Her eyes kept drifting to folders she didn't recognize. One was labeled private, another simply L. Her breath caught. She clicked, praying she had misunderstood. Images loaded slowly, one after another. Not graphic, but unmistakable. Lily in her room. Lily in the bathroom mirror. Lily asleep, filmed without awareness. Anna felt the room tilt. A sound tore from her throat, raw and animal, and she slid down the side of the desk until she was sitting on the floor, arms wrapped around herself. She couldn't look away and couldn't bear to look longer. Dates and timestamps told a story that made her skin crawl. There were videos too, and she shut them before they could play, the implication enough to steal the air from her lungs. Mixed among the files were messages, words that turned her stomach, casual and cruel, written by her husband to strangers online. Anna pressed a hand to her mouth to keep from screaming. She tasted bile. Somewhere in the house, Lily laughed at something she'd drawn, and the sound broke Anna open. She wiped her face, stood on shaking legs, and forced herself to think. Panic would not protect her daughter. She found a flash drive in the drawer, plugged it in, and copied everything she could find. Her hands moved with a strange precision, as if guided by someone else. When it was done, she locked the office door and pocketed the key. She went back to the kitchen and knelt in front of Lily, who looked up with a proud smile, holding out her drawing. Anna hugged her tightly, breathing in her hair, whispering promises she would keep no matter the cost. The rest of the day unfolded like a performance Anna barely remembered afterward. She answered calls, cooked dinner, tucked Lily into bed with her favorite story. When Mark came home, she watched him closely, noting every gesture, every word. He asked how Lily was, if the doctors had called, if Anna was okay. She said they were waiting, that Lily was tired. Her voice sounded steady, and that frightened her. That night, after Lily fell asleep, Anna sat alone in the dark living room, the flash drive heavy in her pocket. She thought about calling the police immediately, about confronting Mark, about running. Each option carried danger. She chose the one that felt safest for Lily. When Mark went to shower, Anna locked herself in the bathroom and made the call. Her voice shook, but the words came out clear. Evidence. My daughter. My husband. She listened as the operator guided her, grounding her, promising help. When officers arrived quietly later, Anna opened the door and stepped back, heart racing but resolved. Mark's confusion turned to panic as they spoke to him, asked questions, placed him in handcuffs. Lily slept through it all, wrapped in blankets, unaware of the moment the world split into before and after. As the door closed behind the officers and the house fell silent again, Anna leaned against the wall and finally allowed herself to cry, not from weakness, but from the fierce, unbreakable knowledge that she had chosen her child, and she would do so again every single day that followed. The days after the arrest blurred together into a relentless sequence of questions, waiting rooms, and heavy silences that pressed on Anna's chest until breathing felt like work. Lily woke the next morning asking why the police had been in the house, and whether her father was coming back for breakfast. Anna knelt beside her, smoothing her hair, choosing words carefully, saying that her father was sick and had to go away to get help. Lily frowned, trying to understand, then accepted it with the fragile logic she used to make sense of a confusing world. She asked if it was her fault, if she had done something wrong to make him leave. That question nearly broke Anna. She pulled Lily into her arms and said no, over and over, until the word lost meaning and became a promise instead. Social workers arrived that afternoon, kind but serious, their clipboards filled with questions Anna answered with shaking hands. Doctors explained next steps, speaking softly, explaining Lily's pregnancy in medical terms that felt too clean for the violence beneath them. Anna nodded, listened, asked questions she never imagined she would need to ask. Each answer felt like another weight added to her chest. At night, when the house finally grew quiet, Anna sat at the kitchen table staring at nothing, replaying every memory, every moment she had trusted her husband, every time she had dismissed her own unease. Guilt clawed at her relentlessly. She wondered how she could have missed it, how a mother could fail so completely. Therapy sessions began quickly, carefully structured to keep Lily safe from details she could not process. The therapist focused on routines, on reassurance, on rebuilding a sense of safety that had been shattered. Lily liked the calm voice, the predictable questions. She talked about colors, about dreams, about missing her father without understanding why that was complicated. Anna sat nearby, her heart breaking in quiet, controlled pieces. Court dates loomed, each one a reminder that this nightmare had structure and deadlines. When Anna finally sat in the courtroom, she felt detached from her body, as if watching someone else's life unfold. She listened to evidence she wished she could erase from her mind, stared straight ahead while Mark sat at the defense table, smaller somehow, avoiding her gaze. She didn't look at him when the charges were read. She focused instead on Lily's stuffed rabbit tucked into her bag, a small anchor in a sea of horror. Outside the courtroom, reporters lingered, but Anna shielded Lily, moving quickly, refusing to let her daughter become a spectacle. At home, Anna packed away photographs, boxing up memories that now felt poisoned. She rearranged the house, changing rooms, repainting walls, trying to make the space feel safe again. The pregnancy remained the heaviest burden. Doctors explained options with compassion, emphasizing Lily's health and well-being. Anna made decisions slowly, guided by what would cause Lily the least harm, both physically and emotionally. Each choice felt like walking through fire. Throughout it all, Lily sensed her mother's pain and tried to help in the only ways she knew, offering hugs, drawing pictures, singing softly when Anna cried. Those moments became Anna's lifeline. The verdict came on a cold morning, the judge's words formal and final. The sentence did not feel like justice, only distance. Distance between Lily and the man who had hurt her. Anna felt no relief, only a deep, aching exhaustion. Life did not snap back into place afterward. It crept forward slowly. Mornings were still hard. Lily still asked questions. Nightmares still woke Anna in the dark. But there were small victories too. Lily laughed more during therapy. She learned new routines. She felt safe enough to sleep through the night again. Anna returned to work part-time, arranging her schedule around Lily's needs, discovering a strength she hadn't known she possessed. Some days the guilt returned like a wave, threatening to pull her under. On those days, Anna reminded herself that survival was not about perfection, but persistence. She had believed her daughter. She had acted. She had protected her when it mattered most. Sitting on the porch one evening, watching Lily chase fireflies with a laugh that sounded almost carefree, Anna felt something loosen in her chest. The past would never disappear, but it would not define their future entirely. Anna understood now that motherhood was not about never failing, but about standing up again and again, placing herself between her child and the darkness, and choosing love even when it hurt more than anything she had ever known. Time moved differently after everything settled into a new, fragile normal, as if days stretched and folded around Anna and Lily, reshaping their lives in quiet, persistent ways. The house no longer felt haunted by sudden noises or memories lurking in corners, but it carried a softness born from effort rather than ease. Anna filled the space with light on purpose, opening curtains every morning, letting music play while she cooked, planting flowers in the yard so Lily could watch them grow. Each small act felt like reclaiming something that had been stolen. Lily adapted in her own way, clinging to routines with renewed determination, finding comfort in repetition and familiarity. She attended therapy twice a week now, sometimes returning home calm and smiling, other times withdrawn and exhausted, her emotions surfacing in ways neither of them fully understood. Anna learned to read the signs, to sit quietly beside her when words failed, to offer presence instead of answers. There were setbacks, days when Lily cried without knowing why, nights when she woke screaming from dreams she couldn't explain, but there were also moments of progress that felt miraculous. Lily began to speak more confidently about her feelings, pointing to drawings and colors to show when she was scared or sad. Anna praised every effort, every step forward, knowing healing was not a straight path. The legal process faded into the background, reduced to paperwork and distant updates that no longer defined their days. Anna focused instead on building a future that felt safe. She joined a support group for parents, sitting in circles with strangers whose pain mirrored her own, learning she was not alone in her guilt or her anger. Slowly, she forgave herself, not completely, but enough to breathe easier. She accepted that monsters often wear familiar faces, and that love does not always come with warning signs. Lily's health stabilized, monitored closely by doctors who treated her with patience and dignity. Decisions had been made, difficult ones, guided by compassion and care, and Anna stood by them without regret. What mattered now was Lily's peace. One afternoon, as they sat together assembling a puzzle at the kitchen table, Lily looked up suddenly and asked if her mother would ever leave her. The question struck deep, but Anna met her gaze steadily and said no, never, not for anything. Lily smiled, satisfied, and returned to fitting pieces together. In that simple exchange, Anna felt the weight of the past ease just a little. Seasons changed. Winter gave way to spring, and the flowers Anna had planted bloomed bright and stubborn, proof that life insisted on continuing. Anna found herself laughing again, sometimes surprised by the sound of it. She took Lily on small outings, parks, libraries, quiet cafes, watching her confidence grow in measured steps. People sometimes looked at them with curiosity or pity, but Anna no longer cared. She had learned that strength did not need approval. On the anniversary of the day, everything changed. Anna lit a candle after Lily went to bed, not to mourn, but to acknowledge how far they had come. She sat in the dim light and allowed herself to feel everything: grief, anger, love, relief, without judgment. When she blew out the candle, she felt a quiet resolve settle over her. Their story would not be defined by what had been done to them, but by how fiercely they had chosen each other afterward. Late one evening, as Lily slept peacefully, Anna stood in the doorway watching her chest rise and fall, listening to the steady rhythm of her breathing. The fear that once kept her awake had softened into vigilance, a watchfulness rooted in love rather than panic. Anna understood now that healing was not about erasing scars, but about learning to live with them honestly. She turned off the light and closed the door gently, carrying with her a sense of purpose that felt unshakable. Tomorrow would bring its own challenges, its own joys, but whatever came, Anna knew she would face it as she always had, by standing between her daughter and the world, steady and unyielding, choosing hope not because it was easy, but because it was necessary.